Hi everyone, this is my 55 PowerPoint Tyranid list for Warhammer 40k 8th edition. In the HQ slot I have a Swarm Lord and of course accompanied by the Tyrant Guard, although as we know for 8th edition these are separate units now. I have a Tyranid Prime and the first of the troop sections, Tyranid Warriors. The additional two troops are Termagants, armed with Devourers, that's 10 of them, and also 10 Hormagants with the standard Scythe Talons. We have a unit of Zoanthropes accompanied with the Neurothrope. 3 Tyranid Shrikes, armed combat ready, so they have Rending Claws, Lash Whips, Bone Swords. And finally, the Morlock at the back there. So, that's my 55 PowerPoint Tyranid list for this game.
Hey everyone, Mike here with my Eldar list. This is a 57 PowerPoint list, and I've taken a battalion detachment. So what that entails is I have to have 3 troops choice and 2 HQs. So for my troops, I've taken 3 units of Dire Avengers. 2 of the Dire Avengers are kitted out with a Power Glaive and a Shimmer Shield. And there is 1 Exarch that has a Shuriken Pistol and Shimmer Shield. My 2 HQs will be a Farseer and an Avatar. I've taken a unit of Howling Banshees just for speed. The Exarch in that unit has a Executioner. I have a Wave Serpent for transport, which is going to be used for the Howling Banshees. That has been equipped with a Shuriken Catapult and scatter lasers. And then finally for support I have a Wraith Lord there at the back who has a Ghost Glaive and a Bright Lance. So that's my points for the game.
Hi everyone, right, we've deployed and we've decided our army scenario, put down objectives and all the rest, so we thought we'd have a quick chat about that. We didn't do that, we haven't filmed all of that for this battle report, partly because we wanted to kind of get on with the battle, and partly because we had a lot of discussions about what we were trying to do in terms of setting up. So I think in the future we might film some of those, but for now we just thought we'd get everything down. How did the start of the game turn out? I won the roll-off. Yep. You chose the deployment zones, which gave me the ability. Then I had to start deploying my units first, and this is the important change, it's 1 unit at a time. So I'm just going to talk through, I think what you see is both of us in this deployment trying to work out how to deploy an army that we're not that familiar with. We've resorted to some fairly basic tactics. We've not spread ourselves too thin. We've concentrated on getting towards the objectives. What I did do, and we were both doing it, is we were dropping troops down and stalling for time to see where the heavy hitters went. Yeah. Luckily, I've got a Morlock in my list, which enables me to deploy it underground. So we were kind of 1-2, 1-2 on troops, weren't we? And at the point when the heavy hitters started to go down, I put my Morlock in underground, which then almost kind of pushed the initiative to you. You were having to drop your heavy hitter down.
Also now means when the game actually starts, I've always got to be in the back of my head thinking there's that Morlock to come up somewhere on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how does the battle work out? This is the only war mission, and they describe this in the rulebook as the simplest let's get going mission. And it's fairly straightforward. There's 4 objective markers you place alternatively. The objective markers are only worth something at the end of the game on the primary objective victory conditions we roll. So there's a D3 you roll, and depending on what you get, that actually changes the roll of the objectives, doesn't it? Is that right? Yes. So we got Slay and Secure, that's correct, which is at the end of the battle, each objective marker is worth 2 victory points to the player who controls it. Players also earn D3 victory points if the opposing army's warlord was slain during the battle. So the idea of this Slay and Secure means this is essentially a straightforward fight, leading us to count up at the end on who's still around to hold objectives and whether we manage to take each other's warlord.
Yeah, so it's maximum of 5 turns. Right, so the maximum turns for this is 5 turns on this. So the 4 objectives on the table that are going to be worth 2 points at the end of the game are, we have one currently here, over here, one on this far side, and then the final one is pretty much centre of the board. So it's looking like the game's going to be focusing mainly in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
Which I think that you being more combat is going to suit you more than anything, I think.
It's one of those things. I might find myself extending beyond it. That's the issue, and I don't think I can withstand all the shooting just by holding the middle ground. Definitely, this has informed my gameplay in terms of I'm going to have to smash in and smash hard and possibly pull back towards the objectives. So we'll see. If I can keep you off the objectives, I've got options to pull back. Yeah. But we'll see, because we've played a couple of games now and we've seen how quickly you can lose units.
It's definitely still going to be a learning curve for both of us. So
absolutely.
There is probably going to be mistakes on both sides still.
That's a good point. We know it's worth mentioning we are going to be referring to rules. We'll try and edit as much of that out, but we want to try and get it right. But there are a few times we get kind of picked up on rules. Right, okay, I think we're there. I think I go first turn, don't I? Because I'm 55 power points and you are
57.
57. So because I've got the lower power point count, I get to choose who goes first. And obviously being Tyranid, it makes absolutely sense. I go first. So I think we're ready.
Okay.
Right. Tyranid, turn 1, straight into movement. And the thing to remember as well is if I'm going to do advances, I need to roll those as we go along, basically. So I'm definitely going to start by moving forward my Hormagaunts. They're going to do an advance. So they've rolled 1. The Hormagaunts have a move of 8 inch, so that gives them 9 inch. And what I'm going to do is just choose to flow that one up to there. If you advance, you cannot shoot or charge. I think the next thing to do is probably the Zone Probes. These have continued with their invuln save. It's carried over to this edition, so I don't need to worry too much about trying to benefit from cover. The Tyrant Guard is a move of 7. I think the move is probably the thing that's taking some bending my head around, because you are now having to remember different things for every single unit. My Swarm Lord actually has a move of 9 while he's on full wounds.
Okay, and that decreases the game goes on?
Yes.
Like head as you lose wounds, sorry.
So I'm going to keep him here. I want him within 3 inches of my Tyrant Guard because they give him an extra save. The Termagants now. So I will do an advance move again with them. That's a 4 inch, that's great news. So that's given them a 10 inch move, bringing them hopefully within range 18 inch of at least some of those Dire Avengers. Okay. Tyranid Shrikes will also advance, and that's a 2. The Shrikes have a move of 12 inch. They're combat, so there was no point holding them back. That gives them a 14 inch stampede forward. The Warriors. Oh, it's worth mentioning both the Shrikes, the Warriors, and the Tyranid Prime, as well, of course, as the Swarm Lord, have the Synapse rule, and that essentially enables me to ignore morale. That's the new rule for Synapse now. It's got different range, so Synapse as a standard is 8 inch, but the Swarm Lord is boosted to, I believe, 12 inch. So I might as well advance again. Goodness me, I'm not getting the advance rolls. That's a 1. Okay. Never mind. Come on, Tyranid Warriors. Start the slow march forward. And the Tyranid Prime, again, another 6 inch move. Might as well go for the advance. Woohoo! 12 inches. Let's go sort of to there. And I've got another 5 inches over there, which I'm going to centre in a little bit. And hopefully just brings him in range of that. So the trick is to fire him first. Okay, on to Psychic phase. I've got a couple of Psychers, as I've mentioned earlier in the game. The Zone Probes only have 1 power, because you need 4 of them to have 2. Okay. They've got the Smite, which is the D3 Mortal Wound standard spell. Or they've got Catalyst, which gives one of my units a 5 or 6 saving throw for wounds and mortal wounds. The Swarm Lord has got both Catalyst, so same rule again, but also Onslaught. I should mention as well, in case I need them, I have 6 command points, 3 for being battle forged, and 3 for having the battalion formation.
Yes.
So I've got 6 re-rolls throughout this game, and if past games are anything to go by, I'm incredibly frivolous and use them all up within minutes of the game starting. I am going to start with the Zoanthropes, because that's the first thing I want to try and get off. I am going to put Catalyst onto the Tyrant Guard.
Yep.
And that all will become clear, certainly if I succeed. So this is a warp charge value of 6. And I've passed with 9. I don't think you can attempt to deny it. You're not within...
Got to be within 24 inches.
I have indeed cast Catalyst onto that unit. Onslaught onto the Hormagaunts. So that's 9 I've rolled. It has a casting value of 6. So again, I've passed. From the Swarm Lord is to cast Onslaught onto my Tyranid Prime, which means he won't receive a negative from advancing when he shoots onto your Dire Avengers. Okay. So this is a casting value of 6, and I pass with 7. There's no point using Smite because it's only got an 18-inch range, so I might as well go for Catalyst again, which is giving me that 5 or 6 save on mortal wounds and wounds. So I think I'm going to grant that onto this Hormagaunt unit. Here we go. So that failed. Okay, so that psychic phase over, not too bad. I certainly got off the power I needed to with the 5-6 saves against mortal wounds on the Tyrant Guard, but into shooting phase now. I have a unit here. I think the first thing I want to do, because I seriously doubt you will put him out of range, because you're not necessarily going to choose your Exarch. But the first thing I'm going to fire is the Tyranid Prime. Okay. Tyranid Prime's armed with a Devourer. It's Assault 3. He's got no penalty for assaulting, for doing an advanced move. So he is 3s to hit. So 3s to hit. That's 2 hits. Strength 4 against toughness 3. So I'm going to need 3s. And that's 1 wound, no rend.
So Dire Avenger has a 4-up save. I passed on a 5.
Time to open up with the Devourers in this unit. I'm just going to check this last one back here, whether that's an 18-inch. No, so the rear one is out of range. Right, that's 9 Devourers. They're Assault 3 each, so that's 27 shots. These are 4 to hit. I also advanced with that unit. I believe I did.
Yeah.
So 5s to hit.
Okay.
Strength 4, so these are 3s to wound.
Yeah, I'm toughness 3.
And that is 4 wounds.
I will get my standard save of 4 up for the Dire Avengers, which I failed 3 of them. Now, the Dire Avengers have only got 1 wound each. The Exarch has 2, so I'm losing 3 models from that.
Okay.
So that's not that bad.
So if that's the end of my shooting phase, I'm not in a position to charge with anything. That takes us to morale. So do you need to take a test on that unit of Dire Avengers?
No. So normally I would, because I'd lost model from it, but because of the avatar, friendly Eldar units within 12 inches of the avatar do not take morale tests. Right, so moving on to my movement now for the Eldar. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to move this unit of Dire Avengers here. Now they have a movement of 7 inches, so I'm just going to pop them forward a bit. Right, this Dire Event unit, I am going to move. I'm going to try and get them all up onto there, so they are getting a cover, and they're all getting sight of you then.
Okay.
Movement of 7 inches, so these guys can definitely jump across quite easily, and it's what? Let's say 3 inches to get up.
No,
so
2 inches.
2 inches,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's...
So let's pop that guy up there. And then, yeah, I've got the movement to get up there beside him. The avatar is going to move forward as well.
Oops.
So also he has a 7-inch movement. For a big model, you'd think he might not quite have that movement.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking...
Roll him, roll him, roll him.
I'm going to move him a bit, but stay behind that unit still, so you still can't take a shot at him. Great Flood's still up 4 wounds, so he gets his full movement, which is 8 inches. So I think he's going to move forward to eventually get in the face of Shrikes, is it?
Shrikes, and yes, the flappy ones are the Shrikes.
My Wave Serpent has 16-inch movement currently. So I'm still unsure about, I think I might stay there. I'm going to move it over to the side just for now. I think that's everything in my movement phase now.
Okay.
So moving on to sidekicks. First thing I do, I'm going to cast Guide onto the Dire Avenger unit just here. So that has a casting value of 7.
Okay.
Which I failed. However, I will use a bit of Eldar trickery here. Because of the ruins of the fast here, once in each psychic phase, you can reroll any number of dice used for this model's attempt to manifest or deny a psychic power. So I think I'm going to throw that out there straight away.
Eldar shenanigans.
So looking for a 7, and I passed it on a 7.
I am going to attempt to deny it. And I have rolled 7. I am in the spirit of my...
That equals my... Oh, okay.
Spend one of my command points to re-roll. So I'm going to re-roll the 3. So I'm looking for a 4 or more and a roll of 1.
I'm going to try and cast Doom now, which means I will get to re-roll to wound.
Yowza.
The Termagon unit?
Yeah, yes, they're Termagon.
Doom has a casting value of 7.
Okay.
So let's see if I can get it off first. I'm not going to get the re-rolls this time around either. 4, 6. So that's psychic phase finished.
Yep.
So now on to the shooting phase.
Sure.
So I think to start with, I'm going to use the Wraith Lord. And I'm going to shoot with this Bright Lance.
Oh yeah.
At the Warrior unit and the Shrike unit. They both have 3 wounds each, don't they?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I'm going to go for the Warrior unit.
Okay.
Just because they've got some shooting, so it's going to lower your numbers. I'm going to be able to take anything out from me then. Currently, because I'm 4 wounds, I'm needing 3s to hit.
Sure.
Which I've rolled 5, so that is a hit.
Okay.
And the strength for the Bright Lance, strength 8. What is your toughness?
Yeah, I'm toughness 4, so you are double. So
I am
that
double.
is 2 to wound.
2s. Okay. That's another 5 again.
Okay.
Now the Bright Lance is -4 AP.
Well, I think that's it for me. Their save is Warriors is a 4+. So that's a -4. So how many damage?
D6 damage.
D6 damage. Here we go.
I'm hoping for something good here.
Yeah, I know.
That is a 5.
1 warrior down.
So next up, I think we're going to go with these Dire Avengers against the Termagon unit.
Okay.
So I am needing 3s to hit you with these. So if I take out the misses, so I'm needing 3s to wound.
Yes.
Now just to point out on this as well, if I roll any 6s to wound, they become AP -3. Okay.
Yeah.
So 3s. So we take out any ones that didn't wound. There is 1 6 in that.
So there's 1 definitely dead.
Yep. And then that leaves you 4 normal saves to make, no minus.
Okay, they have a 6-up save. And I don't save any of them. Ouch. Welcome to the world of Warhammer 40k 8th edition.
Right, so moving on next, I'm going to go with the Wave Serpent, and I'm going to use my twin scatter laser. That's not twin linked.
Yes.
So it's just saying it's just got 2 guns.
So this has got its own stats, because normally a scatter laser is heavy 4.
Yeah.
A twin link scatter laser would be essentially heavy 8. This isn't called a twin link scatter laser, it's called a twin scatter laser.
So I'm just going straight out with the extra, it's not getting any extra.
It's classed as heavy 8, so it seems to make sense.
I'm thinking I'm going to take it on Tyrant Guard.
Tyrant Guard, okay.
Also needing 3s to hit.
Yeah.
So that's 7 hits so far. Strength 6.
Toughness 5, so you're going to need 3s.
That is 5 wounds, and there is no minus.
So that's 5 shots with a 3-up save on the Tyrant Guard. I have failed 3 of them, so they take 3 wounds. So it's the catalyst that says each time a model from the unit suffers a wound or mortal wound, roll a d6 on a 5 or 6 I ignore.
Okay.
So essentially, like I feel no pain, I could ignore this on a 5 or 6. I've rolled a 5, so that's 2 wounds taken onto one of the Tyrant Guard. The Tyrant Guard have 3 wounds.
Right, I think all that leaves is 1 unit left to shoot with, which is a Dire Avenger unit. I'm gonna take a shot with 2 of the Dire Avengers at the Tyrant Guard, just to see if I can get rid of him.
Yeah.
and then the rest of the unit will shoot the Hormagaunts. So needing 3s to hit.
Yeah.
However, I do have guide, so I do get to reroll.
Yada yada.
Alright, so 3s. There is 1 miss there, which I get to reroll. So all 4 hit.
Oh, perfidious Eldar.
Strength 4 against toughness.
5. So
Toughness 5.
Tyrant guard.
Yes.
Yes, toughness 5. So you need 5s.
Okay. 1 wound. Which is a 6, which becomes -3.
So I have a 3-up save. So -3, that makes it a 6-up save.
Yeah.
So I've got a 6-up save, which I fail. I've got a 5 or 6, which I fail. So you have indeed removed 1 of the Tyrant guard.
Dire Avengers shooting at the Hormagaun unit. So this is 14 shots, and I'm needing 3s to hit. Re-rolling because of guide. So if I just take out all the misses. So move those out of the way. So that's 1 miss, so it's 13 hits altogether.
Ouch.
Strength 4 against your toughness 3, so that is 3s to wound. 6s become -3 AP. So 3s. Take out any of the ones that failed to wound. Okay, so we have, there's 5 6s there, so 5 of them aren't getting a save. And then you have 4 normal saves to make.
Wow, this is the Hormagaunts, yes?
Yes.
So 4 normal saves, which is a 6-up. And I've only passed 1 of them. So that's 8 dead from a unit of 10.
Yeah, so it's a good round of shooting from Dire Avengers. Right, so that's shooting phase complete. Charge phase now. Don't think there's actually anything going to be in range, but I'm not sure actually if the Wraith Lord is. He is in range. I don't know whether to try go for a cheeky charge. Because there isn't a rule now of if you shoot at 1 unit, you have to charge that unit.
Yep.
That isn't in play anymore. So even though I shot the warrior unit, I could decide to charge them. Right, so let's see if I can make this charge. That's a 4.
Okay, I am going straight into Tyranid 10-2 movement. So first things first, let's get, I think this is going to be about maybe the Shrikes, who have a 12-inch move, so I'm literally coming an inch away from you. And I know that I'm going to have to withstand those flamers.
Yeah.
You know, what can I do? They're a combat unit. Let's move him to there, actually. The Tyranid warriors have a move of 6-inch. And again, this time I'm slowing down a little bit now because I am interested in getting a good deal of shots into that Wraith Lord before I can attempt to charge him. So the Zone Phropes, which have a move of 5, is coming over here towards this objective, and they may well, for all intents and purposes, given what they do, camp out there and see what they can do to boost everybody else. The Hormagaunts with their move of 8 inches. Again, I'm not going to risk the assault move now. I'm quite happy to attempt that charge. I'm going to advance the Tyrant Guard. I've got a 1. You know what? This is an important turn. I'm going to use a command point because this is a really important turn for me in terms of doing damage. So that's given them an advanced move of 3. That gives me 10 inches. Swarm Lord, I'm not going to advance at this time. I'm simply going to come up the board, and again, still at this stage, maintain my 3-inch onto Psychic phase. The Swarm Lord is going to put Catalyst onto the Tyrant Guard.
Okay.
So this is a manifestation of 6, charge value of 6, and I've passed with 10. Do you wish to deny?
Yes.
You can deny up to 2 psychic powers, I assume.
2 I can. So I'm going to do this here. I need an 11.
You need an 11 or 12.
Right, so that's a 5. I will use my shenanigans to re-roll that. That's not a command point. That is a Eldar fast roll.
But does that stop you doing it for the rest of this game turn, or for just this psychic power?
I think it's each psychic phase.
Okay, let's go. Even your opponent. Wow.
Yeah, so that's a 6, so I failed. So that goes off.
Still failed. So Catalyst has gone off. That's pretty important. That's that 5-6 save of we've seen. I am going to cast Smite into the Wave Serpent.
Yep.
Casting value of 5. I've passed on a 6. Do you wish to deny?
I have denied on a 7.
Ouch, that's so mean. Right, I am going to cast Smite with the Zoanthropes. Zoanthropes have an ability called Warp Blast, which gives me an additional D3 mortal wounds as well on units with more than 4 models. I think they are in range. I'm looking for a 10. Ideally, I've rolled 8, so I'll have to stick with that. Do you wish to deny?
I've already used both my denies.
So that's D3 mortal wounds plus an additional D3 mortal wounds on that unit. So I'll just roll them both at the same time.
Yep.
So 2D3, and that is a 3 and a 1. So that's 4 mortal wounds against that unit. Okay, that I think is the end of my psychic phase. I'm pretty pleased with that. Psychic phases and Tyranids is always a bit of a 50-50, but taking some units down there, giving myself a layer of protection there. On to shooting. I'm going to fire all 3 of these at the same time because the Tyranid Prime has an ability called, they can add 1 to hit for all High Fleet Warriors and Tyranid strikes that are within 6 inch. So there's 9 shots coming out of those remaining Warriors and Prime into the Rave Lord. So this is hitting on a 2+. They're Assault 3, Devourers. And this is Strength 4, Toughness 7. Toughness 7, so I am going to need 5s. And that is 2 wounds.
2 wounds caused. Is there any minus to it?
No.
No minus, so I'll get my normal 3-up save. Which I card both of them. However, I think I am actually going to use a command point now
To save
reroll one of the saves, which I passed.
Okay, so he takes 1 wound.
Yeah.
Next thing is the Termagants with their remaining Devourers. There's 5 of them in there, so that's 15 shots. The Termagants are hitting on a 4+. They advance this turn. Okay. Not too bad a roll, I don't think. Strength 4, Toughness 3, so 3 to wound.
Yep.
That is 6 wounds into that unit.
Oh, that's not good. I've passed 1. It's enough to take the entire unit off.
Even if you re-rolled 1, because there's only 4 wounds left.
Actually, just thinking about it, I am on cover, so I will get +1 to my save.
Yes.
So it does make a difference now. I think that means altogether you did... well, actually, I passed 3 of them, so only 3 wounds have gone through.
I think that's all my shooting done. Pretty certain it is. So on to charge. This is going to be fairly straightforward then. The Hormagaunt, charging into the Dire Avengers. Do you wish to overwatch?
I think I need 5 for the overwatch. So we'll take out all the misses, it's going to make it a lot easier. So far there's 4 hits, but I am getting to re-roll the rest.
Oh yeah, dodge a little re-roll there, Mike.
Dodgy re-roll.
Little re-rollable re-roll there, wasn't it, Mike?
And that's another 6.
Looking for a lot of 2s here.
There's,
Any 6s?
There's 3 6s.
Okay, so let's just remove those.
Yeah.
Right, the next thing is my Tyrant Guard are going to attempt to charge.
So because there's nothing within range of me, I get to overwatch again now. So 19 shots on the Tyrant Guard now.
Yep.
So this is on 5s again, re-rolling.
Well, they talked about obviously the rules being balanced towards combat units now, and I have to say that multiple Overwatch feels like that potentially disrupts that idea of it being balanced for combat armies. Because, you know, that still makes shooting armies now incredibly powerful. You know, the idea of being able to tactically absorb Overwatch with 1 unit only to find it can
Think of Brave Guards with these types.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's 11 hits. Toughness of the...
Toughness is 5.
Toughness 5,
so
I'm needing
5.
5s now.
Yep.
6's become a what's name. So there is 1 normal save to make, and then 1 to make at -3.
Okay, so 1 is a 6-up save, which I fail. 1 is a 3-up save, which I pass, which gives me a 5-up ignore, which I pass. So this is what it's all about now. I really need that charge distance. I've rolled 5 inches. I think that should be enough. I've only got to get within an inch. And in fact, that's actually quite comfortable. So I'm going to move that. And I'm going to move that to there. So I'm going to try to get the Swarm Lord in there. I've rolled 9. Yes, as we can see, I can definitely get to there, which gets me within an inch. The next thing is the Shrikes are going to charge the Wraith Lord.
So 6s.
6s.
That's a 5, so no.
Okay.
And then Flamers, so it's Assault D6.
Yeah, and there's 2 of them, yeah?
Yeah, so I'll roll 2 dice.
Yep, that's
how many
fine.
shots I'm going to get. So that's 6, that's 9.
Strength 4, toughness 4.
4.
So you need 4s.
Yep.
Yep.
That is 5 saves to make. No minus.
5 saves on the Shrikes. The Shrikes have a 4-up save. And I failed 4, unfortunately. So that's a remove 1 and taking 1 down to 2 wounds. And in terms of the charge, I've rolled 9. Given that the Shrikes have Lash Whip and Bone Sword, that means even if Mike slays them with the Wraith Lord, they still get to make their attack before I remove the model.
Okay.
So there's no point activating them first.
No.
And there's a risk of you wanting to use a stratagem to be able to go in front of my charges.
Yeah.
In which case, the first thing I want to attack with is the Swarm Lord. The Swarm Lord has 7 attacks.
Okay.
One of them has to be his prehensile tail. This is hitting on 2s. 1 miss so far. Bone Sabers are a strength user, so this is strength 8.
I believe you're winning on 2s.
And the prehensile tail is strength 6. So I am
2s
still
across the
wounding on
board.
2s.
Yeah.
So I'm wounding on 2s. There we go. 6 wounds. 5 of them cause D6 damage and 1 of them causes D3. There is a -3 AP on the 5 wounds that I've attacked.
Right, okay. Well, I have a 4-up save, so we get no save. Unfortunately, this is the one Exarch in the Dire Avenger units that doesn't have the Shimmer Shield, which means I'm not getting an infinite save.
Oh, I do apologise. It's AP 0 on the tail, so you do get 1 save against the tail attack. Good point.
So 6. So
So I actually put 1 back.
put 1 back, yeah. So what I'm actually going to do is, because you've made all the charges this turn, it means all of your units are going to be going first. I'm going to use 2 of my command points to activate one of my units, which I think is called counter-attack offensive. I'm going to activate my Dire Avengers to go first.
Yep, okay.
Before you get to go again.
Okay, so piled in. Let's get your attacks out of the way so I can properly mash you.
Each Dire Avenger has 1 attack each, so there is 4 normal Dire Avengers, and the Exarch has 2 attacks, but his is going to be different, so I'll roll his separately. Alright, so weapon skill, so I'm hitting on 3s. That is 2 hits. I am strength 3, you are toughness 5.
Indeedy.
So 5. That is 1 save for you to make, and no minus.
So this is a 3-up save, which I fail. I've got a 5-up. I'm just checking he's got 2 wounds left, so I'm not worried about this, and I fail that, so he goes down to 1 wound.
Now for the Exarch, you would have been attacking at the same time, it's just because you're a different weapon profile.
Okay.
He has a Power Glaive, so it's the same strength. No, it's +1 strength. So I'm needing 3s to hit to start with anyway.
Sure.
I hit with 1 of them. Then I am +1 strength, puts me on 4, but it's going to make no difference because you're toughness 5, so it's still 5 for me to wound you.
Yes.
Which I've rolled a 3.
The Tyranid Shrikes have got 3 attacks each. It's Lash Whip and Bone Swords. That gave me that ability to die and attack back, but also they are -2 rend, but they're only 1 damage. So Lash Whip and Bone Swords, and particularly Bone Swords, is not the weapon it used to be.
Okay, yeah.
So this is 3s to hit. And that's not a great roll. And they are strength 4, toughness 7. So I am needing 5s. And that's 1 wound at -2 rend.
-2, so I'm now on a 5-up save.
Okay.
Which I pass.
Okay. Tyrant Guard, is there 2 of them still left?
Yes.
That's exciting stuff. They've got 2 attacks each. They are armed with the Mighty Crushing Claw. So the Tyrant Guard are 3s to hit. This is ×2 strength, so this is strength 10, so 2s to wound. I've wounded. And this is a mere -3 AP.
I do not get save.
Okay. So D3 damage, but I'm assuming you've still got people to remove, yeah? Okay, that's fine.
Which will be my Wraith Lord. So I have 3 attacks here. You've not caused enough wounds for me to take a minus to my characteristics yet?
Nope.
So I have a Ghost Glaive. So I am hitting on 3s currently. So that's 2 hits. I am strength 9 against your toughness
4, so you are 2s to wound.
Okay, so 2s to wound. Rolled 2s. So
and damage each.
This is -4.
Yes, I'm not going to get a save.
This is D6 damage
Just
each.
result. Okay then, we really need you to roll 2 1s here, mate.
A 1 and a 3. So in which case I'm going to use a command point.
Okay.
And re-roll the 1. 3.
Right, there goes the strikes. The only thing remaining to do in combat was to pile in the Swarm Lord towards the Dire Avenger unit. We are on to morale.
So I've lost 6 and I have a bravery of 8.
Okay,
so I want a 2 or anything higher.
2 or more.
Models.
4 or more. 5.
5.
So there goes 3 more.
Yeah.
And the good news for me, that still leaves the Exarch, so they remain in combat.
Eldar turn 2. Right, so we're going to go straight in with some movement now. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to move the Wraith Lord forward, which is movement 8 currently. So it's an inch away. I have to stay away from you, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so in which case I'm just going to move to there for now. Right, Avatar has a movement of 7 inches, so I think I'm going to move up. Well, I'm not going to go quite there. I'm going to go to there. And I think for now as well, I'm going to move the Dire Avenger unit forward.
Okay.
So yeah, they're going to go just up to about there, just to close that range on any of the units to have shots out. Wave Serpent. So I'm thinking 16-inch movement gets me to over around there. So if I turn, so that's going to take a couple of inches movement. So that leaves me about 14 inches to move, which means I can get to there. And I'll cut the movement a little bit short as well and just move to there. So that is movement phase complete, going on to psychic phase now. So next up for this, I'm going to cast Guide onto the Dire Avenger unit just down here.
Yep.
So Guide is cast on 7.
Okay.
Which goes off on a 7, but I'm going to use my fast here thing, which means I can re-roll any number of the dice for the re-roll. So I'm going to re-roll the 2, which goes to 3, so I'm passed on an 8.
I'm going to attempt to deny anyway with the zone throats, because they're both within 24 inches of him anyway, and I've failed.
The only other thing I have left is Doom, which I think I'm going to put on. Let's see, I'm not going to do anything over here this turn, so I'll put it on the turn.
The little guys.
That has a casting value of 7.
Okie dokie speed.
Which I failed anyway.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay, so that's psychic phase complete. Moving on to shooting now. Okay, now I did get Guide up on them as well, so I'm hitting on 3s with a re-roll. That was quite a good roll so far. So I've missed with 3 altogether, so that's 16 hits. Wow. Then it is strength 4 against your toughness 3.
Toughness 3, yeah.
So 3s to wound.
So it's unlikely you're going to take these out.
Yeah, it's not that great. There is 1 6 though, so 1 won't get a save, and then you have 6 normal saves to make.
Okay, that's not that good, given they have a 6-up save. So 6 6s. This is the first time Yahtzee's been done.
Yeah.
Yahtzee +1, live on Battle Report. Yes, that's kind of the opposite of what I was looking for. Let's just get rid of those little fellas.
Right, next up, I think I'm going to use the Wave Serpent to fire the scatter laser, the twin scatter laser that is, at the zone threat unit.
Yes, okay.
So I have 8 shots from this, so I'm hitting on 3s.
Okay.
So that's 5 hits so far. Strength 6.
Toughness 4.
So 3
to wound.
That is 4 wounds with no minus.
The warp field grants the models a 3-up invulnerability save.
Okay, so you just
3-up invuln save. And I've saved them all.
Okay.
In a rare and wonderful rolling of the Tyranid dice.
Now, what I plan to do is I'm going to use the Avatar's Wailing Doom because he can use it in combat and shooting.
Doom.
So he's just going to launch his sword towards the
Sword
Tyranid Prime.
slash spear slash trident. It is an amorphic weapon. It can change. I'm going to pretend it changes into a trident as it flies through the air.
So I'm going to get 1 shot with this. I am hitting on 2s.
With the trident.
I do have a couple of command points if needs be.
Okay.
That's a 6 to hit. So strength 8.
Yep, toughness 5.
Toughness 5, so 3s. That is a 3. That is minus 4 to your save.
Okay, so that puts me on no save.
Right, so damage now. Roll 2 dice for inflicting damage with this weapon and discard the lower result, so it's D6 damage.
So 2 1s, fine.
There is a 5 there, so I'll discard the 1.
Takes him down to 1 wound.
Down to 1 wound.
Ouch.
Oh, okay, this now makes it interesting. So that leaves the Wraith Lord as the only thing left to be able to take shots with now. Then I'm going to put 1 flamer onto, one flamer.
Oh, yeah.
1 flamer and the Bright Lance onto the Tyranid Prime. and the other flamer onto the warrior unit.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah?
Yes, that's
right.
fine.
Okay, so I'll do the Bright Lance on the Tyranid Prime first.
Okay, you do that.
So I am needing 3s to hit. It hits. It is strength 8, and you are toughness 5.
5, yes, the prime. Oh wait, yes, 5. Sorry.
So 3s to wound. That's a 6. So that wounds. That is minus 4.
So he is dead.
Yes, that would have been D6 damage.
Okay, but he's dead.
So the one of the flamer that is going on to the warriors is a sort of D6. So we'll see how many that is. That's 4. They automatically hit as well because it is a flamer. Then that is strength 4 against your toughness 4.
4.
So 4s to wound. That is 2 saves to make normal save.
A 4-up save, of which they both pass.
Charge phase now. I think the only things that could charge is my Wraith Lord who's going to charge your warrior.
Okay, so let's do Overwatch. So I am looking for 6s with my Devourers. They're assault 3 each. And in true to form, none.
Okay. So
we're using these blue dice again.
They were good for me in the series though.
Whatever.
That is 6 inches, which I think
you are indeed. Yes.
Okay.
So let's pop him over here. Ha ha! It's so annoying to see my favourite army killing me.
Combat phase now.
Yes.
I get to go first on this because it's my turn. So any unit I've made charges with, I would go first.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get these attacks done. So 3 attacks for the Wraith Lord.
Yeah.
I am hitting on 3s.
Oh.
Hit on 3, so I've missed with 1. So I'm not going to re-roll that neither.
Okay.
And I am strength 9 with my Ghost Glaive. You were toughness 4.
I am
so
indeed.
I'm wounding on 2s.
Okay. Pretty excited
they have
about
both.
this roll.
They have both wounded.
Should imagine it does.
That is minus 4.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm getting you don't have a say.
No.
And this is D6 damage from each of them.
That's nice. 2 1s.
There is a 2 and a 3. So that would kill 1 outright.
Take the other down to 1 wound. Is it time to roll one of your stratagems?
I'm going to use.
I'm
going to use
the end.
I'm going to reroll. I'm going to reroll 2.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying this.
Please be higher than 2. It's a 4. Yes.
That's it. So you've taken those 2 out as well.
Okay, so I'm going to see if the Dire Avenger can actually do something before he dies, because he's going to die this turn.
Who's he going to attack?
He's going to kill, try and attack the Tyrant Guard.
Tyrant Guard, absolutely.
Just because he's on 1 wound.
Okay.
So I have 1 attack, I think it is. No, sorry, 2 attacks. 2 attacks hitting on 3s.
Yep.
That's 1 hit. Then I'm going up to strength 4 against your toughness 4 or 5?
5.
Toughness 5, so I need 5s to wound. That's a 3, so nothing done there.
Okay, in which case I'll just do my attacks back. I'll probably just start with the Swarm Lord, I think. Because it kind of makes no odds anyway, does it? 7 attacks coming out of the Swarm Lord. 1 of which is the Prehensile Tail. This is 2s to hit. Oh, the prehensile tail miss, Mike, you'll be pleased to know. This is 2 to wound, and that is 3 wounds at -3.
I don't get a save. I've got no shimmer shield, so I'm not getting even.
Adios, exacto.
So the attack is dead there. Yeah, I think that. So that's
Morale?
the end of my turn. I have no morale test to take.
I don't have a lot left on the board, do I? But there's fun to happen yet. 2 into 3. Okay, movement wise here, so I will actually wander in a proper kind of zony thropy kind of way. I always imagine they make a whoa 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 noise, so that's what they've just done. Okay.
Yep.
Whoa 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 whoa. Are you all right with that? But I am going to move the Tyrant Lord over there, and these are going to produce their move because I am hoping with their crushing claws they will be able to do some harm against that. Okay, my Morlock is coming on with a Terror from the Deep rule, which is basically during deployment I can set up the Morlock on the ground, which I've done. At the end of your movement phase, set up the Morlock anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 1 inch away from the enemy unit. More than 6 inches from any other Morlock set up in this way. Roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 2 inches of it. On a 1, the unit escapes unarmed. On a 2 or 3, it assumes 1 mortal wound. On a 4 and 5, it's d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, it suffers 3 mortal wounds. The Warlock cannot charge in that turn though.
Okay, I think I know where that's going.
So there's the 2 inches, there's the 2 inches, and we're not quite sure, you know the whole consolidation being 6 inch? So, as in you measure up, or 2, is he 2 inches? You know, I mean it's...
Tell you what, he's coming up next to a big pillar. I'm on top of a very short thing. We'll take it this one as the Farseer is in there as well.
Okay, we'll see.
I would say it will come, this is my opinion, it will come from the top of the model maybe.
It's difficult to say, isn't it? Because obviously you measure up and down terrain, so in theory it could be, while he's 2 inches horizontal, is he 2 inches there? And it says 2 inches of the model. Doesn't say 2 inches of the base, so should I be measuring from the claw to the Farseer? In which case it's more than 2 inches.
If it says from the model, then I'd say from the top of the model.
So in which case he's probably out of range. I can't really get the Farseer in there. Okay. I appreciate the offer, but I think it's a little bridge too far really. So the Morlock has indeed popped up. Hey! I am going to roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 2 inch. Obviously, ideally, I'm looking for 6s. I'm certainly not looking for 1s. This is the Dire Avenger unit. Yep. And I've rolled a 1.
Okay. Well, we're using the command point. Yep.
3. So I think that is a 2 to 3. It's 1 mortal wound on that unit. And then we've got the Avatar, which is a 2. So again, I'm not going to use a reroll on that because I really am down to my
what is the
last
2?
1. So 2 is 1 mortal wound against the Avatar, which of course he does get a save.
Yeah, so he's got molten body. So roll a d6 when the Avatar cane suffers a wound or mortal wound on a 5 plus the wound is ignored.
Yeah, okay.
So let's roll that. It's a 1, so he is taking a wound.
Okay, so he's down 1 wound.
Yep.
Right, we are straight into the Psychic phase. The Warp Blast powered smite against the Dire Avenger unit.
Okay, is that from the zone thropes, is that?
Yes.
Yep.
So it's 5 for smite. I've rolled 7.
I will try and stop.
I'm deciding whether to re-roll the 2 at the moment.
Okay.
I really need to do some damage. I think I'm in the last few turns of my game. So you've now got to beat 9.
Beat 9, okay, so...
Still, he's got to roll 10 or 11, so...
I'm going to use my faster thing and re-roll
that. That's fair enough.
Which I rolled a 6, so I failed.
Okay, so that's gone in there. So it's D3 plus D3 mortal wounds. 1 off of being able to get the D6, but never mind. So 2D3, and I've rolled a 2 and a 3, so that's 5 mortal wounds on that unit. Right, the next thing is the Swarm Lord is going to do smite against the Farseer.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I've failed. I'm going to put Catalyst on himself, which gives him a 5-up save against mortal wounds, and etc. So, and I've passed that with a 10.
Okay, I can attempt to deny one more time, so
Okay.
I'll do that now. It was a 10, so I need 11 on.
You need 11 on.
11 or 12. That's a 6, so no.
Obviously, that is the psychic phase over. In terms of shooting, I have none, so I'm just going to move straight onto the charge phase.
Okay, yeah.
So first and foremost, my Hive Tyrant Guard, are going to charge the Wave Serpent.
So I'll do the Twin String Catapult first. So I have 4 shots, so I'm needing 6s to hit. That's no hits from that. Then I have 8 shots from the Twin
Scatter Laser.
Needing 6s again. There is 2 hits from that.
Toughness 5, Strength.
Strength for the Scatter Laser is Strength 6, so
Okay,
3.
so 3s to hit, 3s to wound.
1 wound.
1 wound with a 3 up
yeah.
save, and I pass.
Okay.
So I am good. So I'll make the assault move, the charge move, sorry. And roll the double 1. The Swarm Lord is now going to attempt to charge the Dire Avengers there.
So I'll get to do my Overwatch. So there's
Yep.
only the 3 Dire Avengers there with guns. I am hitting on 5 just because of their special
course.
rule.
Are they guided, just to remind you?
Yes, they still have
Okay.
the guide dice next to them. So 5's re-rolling. So there's 3 hits so far, and we're re-roll the other 3.
Roll.
There's another one there. Then I am Strength 4. You
Up to 6. So you
so
are
5s.
needing 5s.
5. Okay. There is 1 save to make, no minus.
This is a 3 up save, which I pass.
Okay.
And I really could do a better charge distance. I think I'm probably looking at 2 or 3 inches there. With a 6, I'm in. So,
Yep.
Mike, would you be so kind as to just smack him into the middle of that unit? Straight into combat with his 7 attacks, one of them coming from his prehensile tail. He's 2s to hit. Yes, is the best word to use at the end of that. And he is 2s to wound. Wait a minute, yeah, your toughness 3, so 2s to wound across the board. Oh, there's some unfortunate rolls in there, but that is 3 hits at -3 and 1 hit. Okay, so let's do the 3 5-up inputs first anyway.
I passed 1.
Okay.
So that's 2 down so far.
And there's the last one, which will just be a normal save, but that saves a 4-up, isn't it? So
Yes.
you might as well use the 4-up.
Which I failed.
Which you fail. So there goes the last remaining one, leaving the Exarch to take on the Swarm Lord of Joy.
Okay, so I had 2 attacks.
Yes.
Hitting on 3s. I
Yes.
believe, yep. Hitting on 3s, both hit.
Yep.
Can he do any damage? Power Glaive is going to be +1 strength on Strength 4. You are Toughness 6.
Toughness 6.
So it's a 6, so I'm needing 5s to wound. I don't manage to wound.
Okie dokie. Is he within 12 inches of the Avatar? He looks safe, doesn't
still,
he?
Yeah, he's well within that. So he's still safe.
Okay then, so that's the end of my turn. Clearing the casualties out the way there. That wasn't too bad. It's definitely more balanced than it used to be, but I do think I need to think about this list a little bit more in terms of countering the heavy hitters, because as you've seen, I've been able to remove the softer targets with relative ease, but it's the heavy targets I haven't even scratched really. I think I've taken 1 wound off the Wraith Lord. Yeah, there's still Howling Banshees to come flying out the back of that Wave Serpent. So, right, let's move on to Eldar turn. Let's see how we do.
So, Eldar turn 3.
Yes. Eldar turn 3.
Right, turn 3. So, straight into movement. I think first thing we do is the Banshees. I don't know whether this is a good idea or a bad idea. Howling Banshees are going to get out of the Wave Serpent. So the way that works is you will disembark 3 inches and then you can move up to your normal movement after that. Howling Banshees disembarked. I'm thinking they're going to go after the Tyrant Guard. So that frees up the Wave Serpent to now move, where the Wave Serpent is going to move up just around here. So I'm now sat on objectives. I'm sat and look at the end of the game now.
Yeah, understandable.
And I can still
I'm
shoot
really
things.
losing model count now.
So the Avatar is going to turn. The Dire Avenger is going to stay there because he's currently on that objective as well. The Wraith Lord is going to move. I think we have to end with it. We've got at the end of the game. It's within 6 inches of the objective. So how I'm looking at this, if I've got to be 6 inches away still, is if I move to there, I can take a shot at your Hive Tyrant. Psychic Phase, we'll go straight onto that. I'm going to attempt to cast Guide onto the Avatar.
Okie
So I get
dokie.
to reroll to hit.
Yep.
That's a casting value of 7.
Yep.
Which I fail, so I will use my fast hit tactics.
Again.
That is now passed on a 7.
I'm going to attempt to deny, and I deny on a 11.
However, I will cast Doom onto Hive Tyrant.
Okay.
That is cast on a 7 as well, I think. Yep.
Okay.
That goes off in an 8.
Okay, I will attempt to deny, and I equal it with an 8.
So that doesn't stop it.
No, it doesn't stop it.
Okay, so first shot, I would do, the Avatar is going to take a shot at the Murloc.
Okay, throwing his trident spear sword.
Yes. Hitting on 2s.
Okay.
So that's a hit.
That's indeed a hit.
It is, when he's throwing it...
Did you call my Morlock a Sherlock?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, carry on.
Strength 8, toughness 6, I'm going to guess?
Yep, Sherlock's toughness 6.
So 3's to wound. That's a 6, so it does wound. And then I roll 2 dice, removing the lowest.
Yes.
This is D6 damage.
I know. Oh, you don't need it. You will kill him in combat.
Okay.
You do not. I will not use it. You're going to do so much damage in combat.
That's 3 damage.
Okay, so he's down to 9 wounds.
Right, so going to take with the shot with the Bright Lance.
Let's go for it.
So hitting on 3 still.
Yeah.
That does hit. Strength 8.
Oh, toughness 4.
Toughness 4. So I am double your toughness. So
double.
Yeah, so 2s.
Double your toughness.
That is a 2. That is -4 as well.
Doesn't matter. They have a 3-up invulnerability save. How many? Just 1 wound, was it?
Yeah, just 1 wound.
I'll save it with the 3-up invuln, mate.
The Wave Serpent is going to take some shots at the zone throats as well. So I am needing 3s to hit.
Yes. Oh, keeping that one if it's more.
It went in the trait, so yep. Strength 6, toughness 4. It was
4, yes.
So 3s. That is 5 saves to make.
5.
No minus.
3-up invulnerability saves. Oh, that's 3 wounds. So I have indeed lost a zone thrope.
Oh, the Banshees do have pistols. And I've still got a charge with them as well, won't I?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so getting 1 shot each. I think they've all got it as well, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so it's going to be 5 shots. Needing 3s to hit. That is 4 hits. Strength 4, toughness 5 on those, isn't it? So 5's to wound, 6s, so the -3 still. No wounds at all. I think that's all my shooting, so now it would be on 2 charges.
Yeah.
So the Avatar will charge the Morlock. That is 7 inches.
Better measure. No, you're all right.
So what I would do is, actually, yeah, I'll just go there for now. The Howling Banshees.
Okay.
So we get for that. That is a 10, so 13-inch charge. Yeah, combat. So let's do the big one first.
Yes, go
So
for it,
the Avatar attacks hitting on 2s. That is all of them.
Does the Avatar give him a bit of a stomach ache?
Melee now, so +2, so strength 8, toughness 6, so 3s.
Yeah.
That's all but 1, so that's 4 cores, and these are d6 each, so I have to roll 2 dice at a time. So the first one is 5 wounds, second one is 3, so we're up to 8.
1 more left.
Another 6.
That's dead.
And then the final one, just to be that, is a 2.
Right, okay, so you've certainly killed it. It's worth mentioning that that's the first time we've triggered this, which is death throws. So if this model is reduced to 0 wounds, roll d6 before removing the model from the battlefield. On a 6, it lashes out in its death throw, and each unit within 3 inch suffers d3 mortal wounds.
I thought you were going to say that as it's dying and go back into its tunnel, it pulls whatever it was fighting with.
And I've rolled a 5, so no effect from the death throws. It would have been nice to see, but indeed, it just, rather than death throws, it just slinked away back into its hole. Do the Banshee attacks?
So they have 2 attacks each. The Exarch has 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to roll them separately because they are 2 different weapons as well. 3 and 4. So I'll do the normal Banshees first, hitting on 3s. That is 7 hits, and then they are power swords. So strength 3. I'm needing 5. 5's to wound. That is 2 2 wounds at -3.
So 2 wounds at -3 with the Tyrant Guard. There are 3 up saves, so this is a 6 up save. And I've passed one and failed one, so unfortunately that's one of the Tyrant Guard gone.
Then all that leaves is the Exarch now with 3 attacks. Now this has her Executioner, so I'm hitting on 3 still.
Okay.
That is 2 hits. And the Executioner is giving me +2 strength, so I'm strength 5 now.
Yep.
It's your toughness 5, so it's already getting better, so I'm hitting on 4s now. Wounding on 4, sorry. So that is 1 wound, so that is 1 save to make at -3.
So another 6 up save, which I failed.
This is D3.
Damage. Okay.
That is 2.
2 damage, so that takes it down to 1 wound.
I think the only other combat left is over here.
Yeah.
So last combat to do here is the Lonely Dire Avenger.
Yep.
See if it can even tickle the Swarm Lord.
It's possible.
So hitting on 3s. The 1, so no, he's terrified of it.
Okay. Well, the Swarm Lord, of course, is going to pump his 7 shots, 7 attacks rather, into the Dire Avenger. 2 to hit. The tail fails. The tail fails. 2s to wound at -3. So that is 4 wounds.
Was that with -3?
The -3 to save now, yeah.
If I pass this, I'm expecting you to flip the table.
I expected it. So he's tanked it. Excellent. Right. So, Tyrant Guard has 2 attacks, 3s to 4s to hit, 3s to hit. Both hit. He is ×2 strength with a crushing claws, which makes him strength 10. So that's 2 to wound. Both wound. This is a -3 save. Do you have any form of invuln?
No.
So that's D3 damage each, but it's an irrelevance because you've got enough to tank it in the unit, haven't you? So there you go.
So 2 dead, yes?
Yep, 2 dead. So on to my turn.
Tyranid turn 4.
Tyranid turn 4. I think we know which way this game is going, but I'm determined to see this game out because it's one of the first 8th edition games we've played. So let's play this one out. I don't think we've got long to go, so it makes sense. And I think possibly we can still do some damage. So
definitely,
I am going to attempt to see what I can do. I've got combat ties up and those kind of things, but that doesn't stop me having some fun. I'm just going to move closer. So that's my movement phase done. I'm in combat over there, so there's not much to do there. So it's straight into the psychic phase. The zone tropes are going to target the Dire Avenger Exarch with Smite. Smite. So rolling a 5.
Well, it's their special version of Smite, isn't it?
It is, but it doesn't count because there's not more than. So that's an 8. Do you wish to attempt to deny?
Yes, I think so. I know what you have planned.
Yeah.
So I need a 9 to stop it.
Yeah, we need a 9.
Which I failed.
So that's a D3 mortal wounds, and that is 2 mortal wounds on him.
Yeah, I don't get the inventor, he is dead.
Swarm Lord is going to attempt smite onto the Avatar. So I'm looking for 5s. I've passed with 10. So do you wish to deny?
Yes, I will try and deny this. I'm going to use my fancy rerolls now.
Okay.
Come on.
I really don't want you to pass this.
No, I failed.
So that is a D6 mortal wound because I passed with 10 on the smite. So I want a great roll here, please. 3. It's
3
better
mortal
than
wounds.
nothing. So
Well, I do get a save.
of course you get saves against mortal wounds.
So 5 ups.
Yes.
I failed all 3.
So that takes him down to 4 wounds. Yeah. I'm going to put Catalyst on myself. I'm putting everything into, and I have passed with a 7. Can you deny anymore?
No, I've
You've only denied 2 so far.
Yeah, I can only deny 2.
Okay, so he gains Catalyst. I am going to attempt the charge into the Avatar.
Okay. I get to Overwatch now.
You do indeed, with your spoon / knife / sword /
needing a 6
spear.
here.
Needing
How
a
amazing
6.
would it be?
Rubbishly amazing.
That's a 1. So
Okay, well, I really need the charge distance here. Oh,
what have you rolled? Is that
double 1? Ah, combat.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much even remove the moral victory of removing the avatar. I had a chance, I think, if I'd have charged in there, of maybe doing enough damage to take those 3 wounds. In fact, probably a good chance of taking the remaining 4 wounds off the avatar.
Get a lot of attacks.
But now I don't get the charge. Okay, I've given myself Catalyst for this turn at least, but I just don't see how I can survive that. Needless to say, onto the Hive Guard. He is straight into the combat. Going to activate him first. He's hitting on 3s. He's hit once. He's wounding on 2s because of the ×2 strength. That's a wound at -3.
I'm not getting a save.
So you're not getting the save. So again, it's D3 damage, but you've got enough to tank those multi-damage attacks at the moment.
My attack's back.
Your attack's back?
So I will get to pile in anyway to do my attacks, won't I?
Okay.
So I'll do the normal Alamanchi first. So 3s. That's 1 hit. And then I think it's 5s to wound. That is at -3 though with the power sword.
1 6-up save. And a roll of 1. So I'm afraid that is the end of the everything but the last 2 remaining zone tropes and my Swarm Lord.
Right, turn 4.
You're
There's
polishing
really
up now.
not much left on the table.
Yeah.
So Banshees first, they're going to move forward 8 inches.
Okay. Are you sure they're all right heading towards the enemy? Is there something they'd rather do? We're just checking, with the old avatar wanted to sit back.
Here comes the back.
We're going to get like a molten metal armchair for the avatar.
So I can just move straight up with.
Just relax in my armchair and let everyone shoot.
Okay, psychic phase.
Yep.
Guide on the avatar. Casting on 7. Goes off an 8.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to deny. And I don't deny with an 8.
Okay, so that is guide on there, and I'm going to doom the Swarm Lord.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm going to take that.
And I deny it.
Psyche's out of the way, on to shooting now. Avatar is going to take a shot at the Swarm Lord. I think he needs to.
Sure.
So 1 shot, 2s to hit, re-rolling.
Yeah.
Does hit. Strength 8, toughness 6.
Yes,
3s.
indeed, yeah, 3s.
That's 5, so it does wound, that's -4.
He's got a psychic barrier which gives him a 5-up invuln save, but he also has the blade parry which is adding 1 to the invuln save, but that is against melee. So I have 5-up against shooting. So this was 1 hit, was it?
Yes.
So 1 5-up save, which I don't make, Mike. Okay. So you can feel free to do yourself.
D6 damage, and I roll 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's 6 damage.
So 6 wounds against the Swarm Lord taking. That kicks in 2 things actually. My Catalyst or my Warlord power. Of course the Catalyst is actually on a 5 or 6, so I ignore the wound. So I have got 6 5-up saves. Okay. So I really need some 5s and 6s.
5s.
That's 3 5s. So he's actually taken 3 wounds, which puts him on 9.
Okay. Right lands at the Swarm Lord. Hits, 3s, wounds -4, I think. -4.
So he's got his 5-up invuln save, which he makes.
Okay. Twin Scatulator is the zone throats.
Yep. So this is
8
heavy
shots.
8.
Yep.
And they are toughness 4, so winning on 3s.
Strength 6, hit first.
4.
So that's 5 hits.
Yep.
Toughness?
It's toughness 4, so strength 6, so they are wounding on 3s. 3-up invuln save, of which I failed 2. So the non-neurothrope goes down to 1 wound.
Alamanches are going to shoot with their pistols for that charge.
Understandable.
So hitting on 3s. That is 1 hit. Strength 4, toughness 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
4, so 4s. That's a 5, so it does wound.
3-up invuln. 3-up invuln. 4.
Pass. Okay, so on to charges.
Okay.
So Banshees are going to charge the zone throats.
Yep, no, just roll.
Okay.
You got +3 on the charge?
Yeah. No. 6, 7, 8.
The zone throats just have what's known as an angry wah-wah. Wah-wah-wah-wah. Oh, wah-wah-wah-wah. We're not built for combat.
So that's the last charge there. Avatar's going against Stormlord.
Okay.
5 inches, so
Yeah, I think he's made it.
he's making it.
Yeah.
So combat then.
Yes.
So there's no way for you to go first against.
No, you go
Tyranid.
first with both of these units.
I think we're going to leave the important one till last.
Of course.
Right. Okay. So Banshees.
Yes, mate.
I will do the normal Banshee first, hitting on 3s. That is 1 hit.
Okay.
Strength 3, toughness 4, so 5s. Doesn't wound. Then I shall do the Exarch. That is 10 on 3s. All hit. +2 strength, which puts me up to strength 5. So 3s to wound. That is 2 wounds at minus. Mind you,
Well, they've
you
got
your
the 3 up
inven,
invuln. So 2 wounds with a 3 up invuln. And I passed them both.
Oh, you passed them both.
Right.
5 attacks hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
I've missed one. I'm going to use the command ability and reroll that. I can't take the risk anymore. So they all hit.
I think we're at the end of the game. It's probably safe to use your last command ability up.
Strength 8, toughness 6, so 3s.
Yes.
That is 4. Yeah, 4
So
wounds.
4.
That is at -4.
Yeah, but I do, of course, have the blade parry invuln. So I get a 4 up invuln. So 4 up invuln. I passed 2.
Okay.
But this is a hell of a lot of damage.
6
now.
damage, and I'm rolling 2 each time.
Yeah, so
There is 5 damage there,
so he's definitely reduced in oof.
and then 4 damage there.
So you've done 9 damage. You have
with
killed him.
You have your
I
special
do have
save.
my 5/6 save. Thank you for reminding me, Mike.
So I don't think you're going to die on this turn.
I have 9 5 or 6s to roll.
Okay.
It's been known for me to roll none with this many dice, so. Oh, I'm seeing some 6s at least. 1, 2, 3, and another 5 there. So that's 4 he took. So he takes 5 wounds.
5 wounds.
So that reduces him down
to
4 wounds. So that has reduced his attacks down to 6. Zone Croaks attacking back.
Yes.
They get 1 attack each. They're pretty war angry. They are 4s to hit. No hits. 6 attacks hitting on 2s. And wounding on.
I am toughness 6.
And I am strength 7. So I am still wounding on 3. That's with a reduction, by the way. Originally I'm strength 8.
Yeah.
But I have 4 to 6 wounds remaining, that's correct. So you are 1 wound off of knocking me down 1 more step. So this is 3s to wound. The prehensile tail is strength 6, so I actually needed 4s to wound with that. The prehensile tail has indeed wounded, and 2 of the wounds have gone through from the bone sabers.
So I'll do the prehensile tail first, so I'll get my normal 3-up save.
Yep.
Which I fail, but I do still have my molten body.
Yeah, molten armchair.
Which is a fail.
So it takes the wound.
3 wounds.
So, yeah, that puts you down to 3, and then
Down to
it
3.
was -3, did you say?
This is 2 wounds at -3 now.
Yeah, so I'm needing 6 ups. No.
This is D6 mortal wounds each. So that's only 5 mortal wounds.
1 at a time, or do you want them all in one go?
Just roll.
It's 5, 6, 3 fails.
So he's dead.
Yes.
Right, what happens when he... Yes. What happens when he dies?
Nothing.
Okay, so that's the avatar of Cain dying.
That is my warlord as well.
And that's your warlord.
Yes.
Okay, this makes the game suddenly very, very interesting, doesn't it? Any morale to make though? I'm still within 12 inch, so I'm good. They didn't take any wins. Okay, this is it. Turn 5 of 8th edition Warhammer 40k, Tyranids versus Eldar. It swung one way than the other. I mean, the reality is I still don't know whether I can or can't kill it. I have taken the warlord.
Yes.
So there's a chance. If I can kill one and survive, I can possibly hold this middle one here. The question is does the Swarm Lord reinforce these or go for another? First things first, taking 1 objective marker is not going to be enough. I need to get across there. Right, so that's the movement over. It feels terribly, terribly risky. I'm moving into psychic power. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to hit you with smite against
Banshees.
the Banshees. And this is pretty important, and I'll explain as we go along.
This is more wounds.
I really need this.
This is the last one, is it?
And I've rolled 10.
Yeah, I need to try and stop it, I think. Yeah. So I need 11.
Okay.
No,
You're going to use your reroll? You got a Farseer reroll?
No, I'm not going to risk it.
Okay. So first and foremost, then that's done D6 mortal damage plus D3 from the warp blast. So blue dice D6, white dice D3.
Yep.
So that is 4 plus 1, so that's 5 mortal wounds against the unit. Now this is the next bit as well. Zone Phropes still have the spirit leech rule if you have a Neurophrope included in the unit, but it works differently now. Essentially, the Neurophrope, a unit that includes a Neurophrope, regains D3 wounds lost earlier in battle whenever it slays an enemy model with the smite power. So I have 2d3. And to a degree it's irrelevant. I was only 2 wounds down, so I'm now back to full wounds.
Yep,
so
that's cool.
That's good, and that's why I was saying it was important, because I've also got to survive a round of shooting to gain that point.
Yeah.
So I wanted those wounds back. I am going to attempt to smite the Farseer, because if I could kill the Farseer, then your denials go away as well. I don't think there's much chance of stopping the Farseer. He's got all sorts of shenanigans. And I've rolled a 7. I have no reroll, so smite is successful. I'm assuming you don't want to deny this. 1. Okay. Okay, and the last remaining thing then with this warlord is to attempt catalyst on himself. And I have passed with 11.
Oh, so I need double 6 then.
Okay.
And I do have my Farseer reroll still.
Yeah. All right. Oh, heaven spells and start blowing the dice.
11.
It's 11.
I will use
Reroll the 5. Just reroll both.
That's 3.
So right, straight on to assault. I'm going to assault your Dire Avenger. Do you wish to overwatch?
I have nothing to overwatch with.
Okay, here we go. I need a great roll. And I've rolled 12.
Yeah.
So I'm in. So I have, of course, 6 attacks because I am reduced. One of them being the tail. These are 2s to hit. Oh, so you're looking good at the moment. 2s to wound. Okay, so that's 1 normal and 3 at -3.
So the 3 -3 ones.
Yep.
I have a 4 pinman.
Okay.
Which I failed 2 of them.
Okay.
But yeah, he's dead.
So it takes 2 wounds. It would have been D6 each for the series completeness. That's actually 9 wounds he took. So that is the end of my turn, Michael.
Your final turn that was as well, so he's got a key turn.
I'm happy with that. We haven't even done the math hammer to see whether I could even win, and I don't know whether I can or not.
I have been.
But this is pretty exciting. I can win. Come on, let's go.
Right, final turn, Pies.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I need to make some good decisions now. Right, so movement. Staying put because that's holding that objective. This is the final turn, so I need to be holding that.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
I'd actually, because you're a flyer, flip over the other side and put your catapult in range of the Neurophrobe. You're 12 inches away. Just hop over it. I can't do anything back at you at all. You are not in a risk. So hop over the scenery, leave yourself within 12 inch and get the extra shot. I'm such a nice guy.
And then the Wraith Lord is going to move just to there.
Okay, here we go.
Psychic phase.
Yes.
Guide the Wraith Lord. Just going to double check I'm in range first. I think
24, yeah.
Yeah, in range. So it's cast on 7. It's cast on an 8. Yes.
Yes, I'm going to attempt to deny. And I fail.
Okay, so Wraith Lord has guide. Doom on the Swarm Lord.
Sure.
7 again. That's cast on a 10.
I'm going to attempt to deny. And I fail with a 9.
Right. So movement done, psychic phase all done.
Yeah.
Crucial turn now. Shooting. So we'll do the wave servant first because I think I need to keep kick you off that
Okay.
to try and get some more points on the board here.
Yeah.
So I will do my twin shroom catapult first. So 4
Yeah.
shots.
Okay.
Still taking no wounds, hitting on 3s.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Right, that's 3 wounds.
Yeah,
Strength
whatever.
4, toughness 4.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So 4, 6 has become -3.
I forgot about that. Doesn't matter, I got
No,
to
no, there's nothing there.
No.
Nothing there at all.
Oh, Mike.
Then I have my
Heavy 8.
twin scout
Twin
laser.
scatter laser.
So 3s.
Okay.
It's gone awfully quiet.
No, I've put my 3 up in one.
Strength 6, toughness 4, so 3s. That is 4 wounds. You get you what? You've only got the 1 save anyway.
4, 3 up in runs. And I saved them all.
Oh.
I needed to do more damage with the catapult and stuff to even get you off it
to
anyway.
be getting me off it, yeah.
Fire shuriken pistol. 1 shot. Hitting on 2s. Hits. Strength 4, toughness 6. Are you still?
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah, of course it could go down, but no, toughness remains static
so
throughout
5.
his wounds.
That is a 5.
Okay, so this is
Yeah, normal
a
save.
3 up save. Which I fail. He takes... Wait,
You've
5
got your
or
5,
6. Which I fail. So he does indeed take the wound.
So he's now down to 3 wounds. Right, Floyd, with the bright lance.
Yeah.
I think this is the only thing that's left that I can do.
This is it.
So
Let's
3s, re-rolling because he has guide. So 3s, hits.
Yeah.
Strength 8, toughness 6, so 3s.
Yeah.
Oh, have you lost toughness or anything now with
No,
going down to the
no.
wound?
His
Okay.
toughness remains the same throughout.
Ah, okay, so 3s to wound. Yes, 3s to wound. It wounds.
Yeah, so you don't need
-4, I think it is.
So I've got my 5 up in run, which I fail.
Now I do the damage, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, right, so it's D6 damage.
yeah.
So D6 damage.
Yep.
No!
Oh, what's wrong?
Where's your last command point now, Mike?
That's 2 damage.
Okay, so that's 2 wounds. I ignore on a 5 or 6. I rolled 2 ones. You have taken him down to 1 wound, Mike.
I think that is the end of my turn 5.
Okay. So, the victory conditions was at the end of the battle, each objective marker is worth 2 victory points to the player who controls it. So I control 2 objectives.
Yep, I control 2 as well.
So that's 4 each. Unfortunately, the player also earns D3 victory points if the opposing army's warlord was slain during battle. This is important. D3. 5. So I gain 3 objective points. So that's now 7 to 4. Okay, so tallying everything up, it's a surprise for both of us, a surprise victory for Tyranids. I was holding 2 objective markers. I managed to secure by the Zoanthropes surviving and regenerating, by the Swarm Lord making a mighty rampage across the battle. I gained 2 objectives, giving myself 4 points. I also had D3 victory points for Slay the Warlord, and I rolled a 5, so I gained 3 objective points, so that gave me 7 victory points.
Yeah.
Mike?
I bottled it. I'm sorry, Eldar players. I'm sorry. As the turns went on towards the end, this was my game to throw away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the thing is, you made some good rolls to make saves.
At the end, I made some good rolls. Yeah, definitely.
But I think the big one is not being able to take out the Swarm Lord.
Yeah.
If I'd been able to do that, we might, well, at a maximum, we could have finished even. No, well, you wouldn't have been on that objective though. But as far as it stands at the end, I was holding 2 objectives, which give me 4 points.
So
it just wasn't enough to shift you. It's the Swarm Lord.
The Swarm Lord's got 1 wound left. So if you'd have taken that, it would have been down to the D3 roll as well. You could have equaled.
Yeah.
No, I could have beaten you at that point, because if he was dead, you wouldn't have been on that objective.
Oh, of course I wouldn't have been on the objective,
Yeah.
in which case you would have, pretty much guaranteed a win, or at least a draw. So yeah, that was a really close match.
Yeah, early on, it looked like it was starting to head towards the Eldar way, and that's how it was going to end at one point, wasn't it? Because you were starting to take a lot of casualties, but as the game went on, I started losing more. The last couple of turns is where it was just that big swing.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. That's one of our first 40k 8th edition battle reports for the channel, possibly the first, depending how we run on editing. So I really hope you enjoyed it. We really enjoyed it. We're going to pop over to Premium now on the website, where we're going to have a little 5-10 minutes, maybe a bit longer, discussion about how the game went, what we do better, what went well, what didn't go well. If you don't know what the Premium section is, or if you're not a member yet, pop along to www.wargameronline. Sign up for a premium account. It's only $2.99 a month, so hey, sign up for just 1 month and check out all the battle reports on there, and check out what we all think about this game. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.